All right. We are live and welcome to the pre-show. So let me go ahead and get this thing started. And yeah, let's y'all, I'm gonna say this a couple times throughout the stream, but I cannot think how many subscribers I got today. It was like 30 to 40. And I am super happy for David Goldfield and others who promoted my content because I want to give the best content that I can for y'all. And so I am extremely happy. So I'm super excited that we're going to make more stuff here. All right, I'm just getting things set up here, so just let me get my stuff set up here. But yeah, if you guys are here, let me go ahead and turn on the chat. And if you guys are here, say hi. Like I said, this is the pre-show. So yeah, this is the pre-show, and if you guys are here, say hi in chat because we are going to be going and starting in the next few minutes. So. All right, I'm just getting things set up here. Oh, crap. Okay. Like I said, if you guys are here, say hi in chat. And yeah, we're going to get started. Okay. I'm just going to quick. But yeah, if you guys are here, say hi. I'm just quick putting it in Mastodon. But yeah. Hey, Unmute. Welcome to the stream. Today we are doing conditionals. We're talking about the if-else statement and the fun things like that. If you didn't catch last night's stream, we made a budget tracker and it was pretty epic. And by the way, we didn't do the GPT scramble last night, so I want people to stick around. If you're not familiar with what the GPT scramble is, basically when we're done with our code, at the end, I'm gonna have ChatGPT mess it up. And the purpose of this exercise is for you guys to learn how to correct code errors. So it's a pretty cool thing I came up with, but unfortunately nobody was around yesterday, so we couldn't do it. So let's hope people are going to be here this time because this is going to be a really fun exercise. And okay. But yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to quick put it on Discord real quick. Oops. But yeah, like I said, we're just doing our pre-show. And, you know, if you guys are doing anything, like, what are you guys doing tonight? Are you I assume you guys are watching my content in the background, which is totally awesome. And yeah, you know, I just like to make sure that you guys can get the concepts, and if you have questions, you know, even if you didn't watch yesterday's stream, if you have any thoughts and you're like, I don't know how to do this, let me know, because we'll have a special time for that. But I am pretty excited because this, by the way, again, I can't say it enough. I've grown so much with subscribers today. We're at 75, and this morning I woke up and we were at 48. So, yep, we are doing pretty good around here. And I need 25 to get to 100. Can we do it? Hope so. Think we can. I had 590, so I'm trying to get up to where I was. And again, the reason I'm not doing the video right now is just because I don't want to get flagged. Once I actually get monetized, I will, because I'll have better support, so. Okay. Hey, Michael. Okay, we've got Unmute in the house. We've got Michael. Who else do we have around here? I just realized that my link never sent to Mastodon. Fantastic. But yeah, like I said, I was just telling everybody that I'm not going to share my screen or my video right now just because I don't want to get taken down. And that's what I was told by YouTube until I can get better creator support. So, but don't worry, we're still going to have a really fun stream. But if you guys want the live share link for tonight, let me know. Because I will create that and, you know, look at that. So we'll just, like I said, I'm just getting finally set up. So, but yeah. Also, I'm going to keep saying this until it's done. If you've not joined Blind Information Technology Specialist, you're missing out. There's a lot of presentations and a lot of classes, and even there's a Python class. Unfortunately, I'm not teaching it, but you know, somebody more experienced is going to teach it, which is awesome. Because even I admit that I still have stuff to learn. But it's pretty cool, and yeah, joinbits.org. And you guys should go ahead and join it because spots are running out and you don't want to miss a free membership for an entire year. Okay? So you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it at all. It's fantastic. Okay. So, we're almost ready here. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having a good day. All right. So let me go ahead and we're going to just start, like I said, because I want to make sure we can get this done. Tomorrow we're going to have a little bit of a slightly modified schedule because I have to go out of town. Not really out of town. I got to go do something tomorrow night. So we're going to be streaming during the day and also to accommodate the international audience. So just an FYI on that front. But if you can't make it, you can always listen to it later. So just an FYI on that. And yeah. So that's kind of how that's going to go. But, yeah, really not a whole lot else going on here. And we're just getting things sorted out, so. Okay. Okay. So, let's go ahead. I'm just going to give it about 2 or 3 minutes. And, you know, like I said, if you guys have anything in chat, I'll share my screen, and I try to make it slow enough because people were complaining that it was too fast. So let me know if you're having any trouble with it. And if you have questions throughout my stream, let me know. But again, I hope you guys stick around because at the end we have a surprise. And of course we have the daily challenge. So can you do it? Let's see. Hopefully, because like I said, we're going to do the GPT scramble, which is something, it's pretty cool. And basically what I do is I make AI mess up the code, and hopefully you guys can fix it. So that's going to be interesting. Okay, so let us get things going. And yeah, so I'm actually gonna get going in the video here. And like I said, today we are doing conditionals, if statements, and things like that. So pretty important part of programming, because these allow you to make decisions in your program. And we're gonna be doing a simple grade calculator, and that's gonna be pretty cool. We did this a couple days ago for our Visual Studio Code tutorial, but we're gonna be doing it now for our real if statement tutorial, where I'll be going into all the things about conditional logic. All right, let me share the screen and let's get going. Let's see if I can get this right here. Hopefully I can share my sound right the first time. Okay.
Zoom share tool.
So
Space with applicant. Space with Windows 11. Title.
oops, like I said, so
Voiceover
I've got
off.
voiceover going on and I've got parallels, so just give me a minute here. And again, if you have any questions about the topics, let me know. Assuming I can get my voiceover to go here. Okay. Voiceover, come on. Or NVDA, whatever.
Unknown folder view list.
There you are. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to make a new folder. And I'm just going to open up a terminal or a command prompt.
Run dial blank. Select C.
CMD.
C.
Oops.
CMD desktop C colon back C space.
CD, we're going to change directories. Documents.
DOCU.
Tab. Maybe. Hold
C
on.
colon back.
Okay. I've got two terminals open because one controls my speech. So one is the chat mechanism, and again, if we get 5 likes, you know what happens, right? I haven't been able to show this off yet because I haven't gotten 5 likes. So come on, y'all. You want to see my script? Let's get 5 likes, and I'll show you how I do my TTS. All right. Let me get ahead in here so I can show you.
C colon backslash C colon backslash
Okay.
Windows back. The system cannot find the
There we
C
go.
colon back C
CD
space
documents.
D O
Oh wait,
Oh,
I'm in the wrong
deep C
directory.
C colon
Okay,
backslash users
so-
backslash Taylor backslash documents creator.
I'm already in documents. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do an mkdir command. And again, this simply makes a new directory. So mk.
KDIR space.
We're going to call this
Quote.
gradebook.
GRADE
Yeah, gradebook.
space OOK quote C colon backslash users.
So we're going to be making a gradebook today. So like imagine if you're in a class and you're thinking, I don't know how I've been doing, right? Well, we're going to go ahead and make a grade book, and that way you guys can learn how to do if and else statements. And don't worry, I'll explain exactly what these things are in just a minute once we get into our code. And as always, if you want to do the live share, please chat and I can send the link. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type in code period. Simply, this will open our folder for our code.
Space
in our
dot
editor.
Visual Studio Code document.
Okay.
Application info. Do you trust the authors of the files in this
Yes,
folder?
I
No,
trust
comma,
the
I don't.
authors.
Yes, comma,
I
I
hope
trust
so.
document stash
It's
Visual
me.
Studio Code document.
Okay. So the next thing we need to do is I'm going to do a control N, and remember we're trying to make a new Python file, and I'm going to simply call this just grades.py. Okay. So that's kind of all I'm going to do is just again make it called grades.py, and I'll kind of show you guys what I do next. Okay. So control
Application.
N. I'm going to save it. Control
Save
S.
as dialog blank. Selection removed.
Now here's a cool trick with VS Code. If I press grades
GRADES.
and I type in .py, recall that we talked about last night a .py is a Python extension for a file, right? So it's a .py file, so it's Python. It will actually save it without having going to, that drop down of different extensions.
Dot P Y Y P.
if I don't get any
Untitled
other
dash one dash
letters. There we go.
documents dash Visual Studio Code. Saved. Untitled dash one dash documents dash Visual Studio Code document. Application. Main landmark. Grades.py editor has autocomplete
Well, you know what? I
multi-line
think I
blank. Press
accidentally opened up my
CTRL plus I
entire
to ask
document
GitHub copy
folder.
chat.
Whoops. Well, that's okay. The joys of not paying attention sometimes. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start this off. Now, we learned last night about variables and input. So if you've not watched that stream, I would advise you to, because we talked all about how to do inputs and variables. But let's recap. Input is the way you can get user input from a user. So you could say, for example, name equals input. What is your name? Great. Okay, so we know that if I put name equals input, we name is a variable and it's a string, and input is a function. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday, where built-in functions of Python are like input and a bunch of others, but basically these are functions that are already built for us, so we don't have to build our own. And so all we're doing is we're just passing in, the what is your name, and so that's kind of how that works. And there's like a million of these. I might do a lesson about Python built-in functions. So if you like that idea, put a chat in the message box so I know if you guys are interested in that, because we can spend an entire video on the built-in functions to make your life easier. All right. So that's kind of what we talked about yesterday. And we also talked about how to do different like print statements and things, although we kind of got into that before. And so long story short, that is kind of all we talked about yesterday. But it was actually a good stream. We made a budget calculator thing, and it showed how much money you'd have left over at the end of the month after you put in your categories. So it's pretty cool. It's like a budget tracker. And today we're going to be making a grade tracker. So if you're going back to school or you're in school, maybe you're going to be taking the Bits Python class or something. You want to be able to track how you're doing? Well, this is going to help. All right. I am done with jibber jabber. Let's get coding. And I am on line 1 of my code editor. I am simply going to type in my editor grade. So actually, yeah, grade equals int. Remember, int is an integer, because what we're doing is we're converting this to a string, right? Because if we just do grade equals input, that's going to be an error, because we're taking a number, right? We're saying, 70%, 80%, 90%, whatever. We have to make sure that we put an int in front of it. So we're going to do grade
G. Suggest list. R-A-D-E space.
equals
Space.
int
I-N-T int.
left
Left
paren
parent. Input left parent.
input
I-N-T-U-T.
left
Left
paren
parent. Line. Quote.
what
Double A-A-T space.
is
I-N space.
your
O-U-R space.
grade
G-R-A-D-E.
question mark.
E. Quote. Right
Oh,
parent.
okay.
Quote E. Quote.
I didn't add a
Question, comma, inspect this in the accessible.
Okay, now, of course, Copilot can just shush for a minute. Like I said, I should have disabled it, but that would probably be more work than it's worth. All right, the next thing I do is, remember, we want to make sure we have an empty line between the statements, or else it will kind of look visually cluttered. Even though we are doing this in the command line, and yes, you may think that visual styling does not matter here, you will be corrected, because it actually does matter. In fact, it matters so much that we want to make sure that we have all of our, styling correct, so that we're able to have it look good, so that's not just, boring, and it just looks like a big glob of text. So the way I do that is I press \n before the final quote.
\n.
Okay. Okay, sorry, I got distracted by Mastodon post.
N. Quote.
All right.
Right parent.
So recall, if you didn't do this right, you'd only have one right parentheses. But because we have two, right, it's right paren, because we opened two left paren, we need to make sure that we have it correct. And you heard this little sound earlier, and it's basically saying that there's a syntax error. And to recall, a syntax error is basically when there's something wrong with your code itself, like the syntax, like the braces, the commas, the slashes, all that kind of jazz. And the semantics error is basically when you run the code and it doesn't do what you want it to do. Okay, so those are the different kind of errors that you can experience, and trust me, as a programmer, we get a lot of errors. In fact, I'm dealing with a nasty one right now, so. All right, I'm gonna go to the end of the slide.
Right parent. Blank.
Okay, here here's where our if statements come in. So if statements are a conditional logic. Conditional meaning it checks for different conditions. If you've ever heard of the site if this then that, so IFTTT, it's basically like a home automation platform. And you could, define different like variables in a sense, or different, parameters. You could say if, I don't know, if there is a new announcement from space, email it to me, or if there's something new from NASA, right? Or if you're away from your home with your location, turn on your robot vacuum. There's so many of these different kinds of automations, and they're using these conditional logic statements, right? And so you're going to learn how to make these. Of course, not as complex like IFTTT, but you're going to learn the basics of this today. Eventually we may get into like libraries. Of course we will, because I'll show you kind of how to automate. But right now, what we're trying to do is we're just trying to learn the basics, right? Because we want to make sure that you understand the basics. So what I typically do when I'm making a lot of code is once I'm done with all the prompt stuff, I just press enter twice. That way I could have a nice little new line of code, and that way I can leave visual space. Remember, it's all about readability, especially if you're dealing with like sighted coworkers and you're in the mainstream world. It's all about readability, because you don't want to have, code all in one block and then it's just like, oh, it's hard to read. Of course, we're going to get into indentation in a minute, because something with if statements is that, recall, Python does not use any braces. Python just uses spaces and indentation. Now, what some blind people like to do, and I don't blame them for this, is they only tab 2 spaces because they manually count them. However, the industry standard is 4, right? So what I typically do is I do a configuration in my screenreader and NVDA, non-visual desktop access. And basically I go to configuration profiles, I make a new one, and I have it only set to Visual Studio Code. And then what it does is it will say, for example, like if I'm at a line, it will say like 4 indent or 4 spaces, and then it will make a tone, right? And so you want to look for those, because it's very helpful to understand how your code is indented. And you'll see that as we go along today. And again, if you have any questions, put it in the chat and I can go ahead and answer them. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to start the first if statement. So there's a couple different statements and I'll kind of get into all of these. So the if statement is kind of the if, let's just say I have a variable named x and I say x equals 5. And then I put in my conditional, because there's different what are called like operators. So equals equals. You don't just put equals, remember, because equals assigns a variable. You put a double equals, right? That helps us to, assign it to the if statement, right? So you say if x equals 5. That's saying if x equals 5, or you could say if x is greater than to equal 5, or x is greater than equal 5, or greater than, sorry. Less than, equal to, not equal to, and there's a lot of these different conditional things, and we'll kind of get into these in a later lesson or even later today. But just know that you have a lot of different what are called operators, and operators are these symbols or these other things that kind of help you to be able to find, okay, if, for example, we'll say if x is not 5, right? So if x is not 5, you'd run this kind of code. And we'll talk about these more later. Right now, we're just doing a basic example. All right, so I'm going to type in if
IF space GRADE space greater equals 90 colon print left parent quote.
Hey, shush, Copilot. Okay, greater
Less
equals, remember,
equals
oops.
Less greater equals space 90 colon print left parent quote 0
colon. So keep in mind that every if statement ends with a colon. So if grade is greater than or equal to 90, print out, we're going to say print, you got an A, right? And remember, we already know how to do a print statement. If you don't, let me know. Okay, my Mastodon is blowing up. Anyways.
Colon blank 4 space
Print.
PINT
Remember, you heard 4 space. Do you hear that? 4 space basically means that it indented itself. And when it says 4 space, you are inside of a code block. Okay? And that is very important. Let me actually disable this Copilot real quick.
Grades.py editor as off.
Because it's kind of getting annoying.
Grades.py
If I want to disable it, I go to
out of editor
Copilot.
accessibility dot
At the bottom
verbosity
here.
dot press CT left parent button button LN4 comma button spaces col button UTF dash button
And
CRLF button editor language stat button Python button
Copilot.
3.12 button Copilot dash logo com type the narrow down Copilot dash chat Copilot dash logo stat comments dash remote dash explorer the comments Copilot
Okay.
dash logo status colon ready 1 of 11 Copilot GitHub Copilot dash output document GitHub Copilut dash output editor red on backslash question
Yeah, I just want to like
out of
shush
editor
it for a
main
minute.
landmark clickable grade
Okay.
main land no 4 space
I
print
think I shushed it up real
T
quick.
blank left parent star values
No.
quote
Okay, I don't know how to shush.
Y
You.
O U space G O space A N space A quote right parent blank
So print, left paren, quote, you got an A. Okay, watch this. So currently right now we are inside of the code block. But we don't want to put our if statements here because we would be inside where the print statement is, right? We'd be inside the other one and we'd throw an error. So a quick little trick is I could press
print no indent blank
Shift Tab to go back and where it says no indent. No indent means 0 spaces. So recall, we are in now a code block. And so you don't want to keep doing if. There's actually something called elif. In this case, it's else if. And what elif or else if in Python, is basically saying else if this condition equals this, then do that, so on and so forth. And then when you get to the end, you say else colon, and that's like your default catch-all. So we're going to see that in just a minute. So we're going to say if
F space G R A D E space grades.py editor as auto
greater, let's see,
equals space 7 0 and grade 7 8 8 0 colon print left 0
colon
print left
0.
colon blank 4 space
Print
P R S E left parent star quote Y O U space G O T space A space B
gotta be.
B quote right parent blank
Oops, hold on, I screwed up. Okay,
blank
I should have gone to the previous
print left
line.
parent blank
So again, we're gonna do the same technique. You're just gonna press like Shift Tab, or you can press backspace, or any of those will work. And really the main purpose of this is to get out of that indentation block, and so you can get back to your main program, or your main top level. Because you can kind of think about this like an outline. There's different indentation levels. You know, you could have a bunch of different levels inside of one. And you'll get more experience with this as you work with Python. It may be more complicated, but you'll get used to it. Okay. All right. Let's see if
I F space G R grade E space greater equals space 8 0 8 7 0 colon print left 4 space E R N T left pair quote Y O space O T space A space C quote right parent space.
Okay, I'm gonna press backspace or Shift Tab, and so remember I'm at the first level. Okay, so I said if grade equals 70, greater than equals 70, great. We got a C. Okay, now we're gonna say if grade.
I suggest grades dot E L I F G R A D E greater space grades dot less 70 less greater equals space 8 0 0 0 8 60 colon 6 0 colon line feed
Print
P R I T left parent quote Y O space got a D space U space G O space A space D
You got a D.
quote right parent line feed.
Okay, so we have one more to go. Like I said, ChatGPT, when I did this the other day, it said you failed. You got an F. But I'm not that mean, so I just say print
P R I N T star left parent star left parent quote you got an F comma and Y O U space G O space A S space E print left parent quote you got print left parent.
Oh, I made a mistake.
Print line right parent line.
What was that? I put two different print statements together instead of putting an if. So if
I space G A D E less 60 colon space grades less
60. Remember, we're doing less than 60 this time. Actually, no, we got to do an else. Okay, hold on. Let's backtrack. Okay.
Line feed.
So we got to do an else this time because remember, this is our last condition and we need to catch all other possible outcomes. Okay, so we need to catch all other possible outcomes for our program. And in this case, what we need to do is we must do the else so that we can keep it consistent, or else you may get an error. So let me just back up.
Print left parent blank.
Okay.
Print left parent. Quote you got an E. Quote right parent.
Okay, so
Four
I'm
space
just
print
gonna
left
go
parent. Line right line feed.
else.
E L S colon E com E colon format. Four space no indent else colon. Print left parent. Quote you got an E. Quote right parent.
You hear a little sound, don't you? It's a syntax error. All right, let's figure out what we did. See, it's almost like a syntax highlighting for sighted people. Let's see.
Line feed. P R P line feed. P.
I didn't indent.
Else colon. Four space print left parent. Quote you got an E. Quote right parent.
All right, so it should be working now, and I want to go ahead and run my program. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to go ahead and save what we have.
Saved. C colon backslash users.
Not the terminal that's controlling my speech, of course. And I'm going to do
P
Python.
P T A O N G R quote a book quote S dot pi. What is your grade question?
I'm going to say my grade is a, let's try a couple of them. My grade is, I have a, let's see, I don't know.
4.
Let's
Four.
see.
6.
60%.
0. You got a D. C colon backslash users backslash X. C colon. What is your grade question?
80.
7. 7. 8.
8. 5.
6. 6. 5. You got a B. You got a C. C colon backslash users backslash Taylor.
That's not good. You got a B. You got a C. See, this is what we test. Okay, so I think we screwed up one of our logic statements. So let me go look
grades
at
dot
here.
pi no and 4 space no and blank.
Okay,
If grade greater equals F.
Sometimes you screw this up.
4 space print left parent. Quote you got an A. Quote right parent.
Okay.
No indent if grade greater equals 80 colon. 4 space print left parent. Quote you got a B. Quote right parent. No indent if grade greater equals 70 colon.
Right. So, I think we need to...
I. Grade. Greater.
Alright. So let me...
4 space print left no indent I.
Like
Grade.
I said, sometimes I
Greater.
screwed it up. So let me see if I
Equals.
can...
70 equals.
Yeah, because
Greater
than
equals.
70. I'm going to figure this out. Because that's what the... I made a plan for this stream. So, which is actually a good thing. But sometimes it doesn't always go as planned. So, let's try to see what happens, like how do you problem solve if you're not sure what to do? Well, of course, we've got a lot of different AI tools right now. Okay, so let me see, like I said, because I know how to do it, but I'm trying to teach problem solving and I'm trying to make intentional mistakes so that you guys can try to learn how to solve them. Okay, because having those knowledge of learning how to solve mistakes is definitely helpful. So, let's see.
4 space print left parent. Quote no indent if grade greater equals 70 colon. I. If grade greater line right parent. Line 4 space.
So I'm just going to type
F space. Grades.py editor as autocomplete multi-line 4 space if grade greater equals 85 colon. Print left parent. Quote you got a B plus quote right parent. Comma. Inspect this in the accessible view left parent.
Okay.
Alt plus F2 right parent.
You know what? For the heck of it, why not, right? I'm just adding stuff to my code. But, you know, what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out, okay, what did I do to mess this up? So...
Print left parent. Quote you got a C quote right 8 space print left parent. Quote you got a B plus quote right parent. 4 space if grade greater equal 8 space print line right line feed.
If...
F space grades.py editor as autocomplete multi-line 8 space if grade greater equals 87 colon. Print left parent. Quote you got a B plus plus quote right parent. Comma. Inspect this in the accessible view left G R A D E. Space greater equals 87
Okay, greater.
colon greater. Greater.
Okay, so...
Greater. Equals. Space.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do.
If grade and T left parent, print T left parent, print 4 space if grade greater equals 85 colon.
Work out that well.
If print left parent, quote you got a B plus print left space.
So here's what we're gonna
print
do.
8 space print left parent, quote you got a B plus quote right 4 space print left parent, quote you got a B quote right space. Print left parent, quote you got a B plus right bracket T left no indent if grade greater equals 80 colon. Right bracket T left parent, quote you got a C quote right parent. Right L if grade greater equals 6 L if line feed.
Okay.
If grade greater equals 80 colon. 4 space print no indent if grade greater equals 8 I.
I didn't put elif like
Line
I was supposed to.
E suggest list elif 1 of 62.
Nope. Sometimes I make mistakes just like
editor
and it's important that you fix them because it may not turn out the way you want it to, okay? So that is kind of how that works because sometimes with an elif, right, if you don't have the elif and you have like a condition, it will go down and check all of these until one is true, but it may not, it doesn't always work when you have just a regular if, because it's just checking all of them individually.
For space known and elif of grade greater force known and elif of grade greater equals 80 colon.
Oh, LFFF?
E. L I F I F F I selected. I F I L E L I F space. For known and elif grade greater equals 80 colon.
All right.
Elif grade greater equals 60 colon. Elif line feed for space.
Print.
P I N E left parent quote you gotta be quote right grades T line feed. Left parent right line feed.
Okay. Now we're gonna backspace. If LF
E L I F grade greater equals 70 colon comma inspect this in the X grades F line feed.
Equals 70. Okay.
F grade greater equals 7.
So what was the
Print
mistake?
left colon line feed.
Well,
for
no
space.
LF. Print.
P I N E left parent quote you gotta see quote right grades dot T line feed. Left parent star value right line feed.
All right.
No for space print left parent quote you gotta see quote right parent.
We have fixed our code, I think, and let me see. Like I said, we're trying to test all values and try to make sure that this works.
No and then elif grade greater equal 4. No and then elif grade greater equal no for space print left parent. No and then else colon.
All right, let's see if it works now.
C colon back C Y. What is your grade question? 8 7 7 4. You gotta be C colon backslash users backslash C. What is your grade? 6 8. You gotta D C colon backslash users back C. 8. What is your grade? Question 8 5. You gotta be C colon backslash users backslash Taylor.
This is the thing. It's working a lot better now. You see that, right? It didn't say you gotta B, you gotta C. It's actually working the way it's supposed to. Sometimes typing errors can really make a bad difference, and it can be pretty catastrophic sometimes. Michael can attest. All right. So that is kind of a basic implementation of elif and if statements. Now, like I said, does anybody in the chat have questions? Does anybody, hopefully somebody's listening and hopefully it's working. But does anybody have any questions? Like, what don't you understand about this? What needs to be clarified? Because what we're going to actually do is, I've kind of made up my mind. Since this was kind of a shorter program today, I'm going to do the GPT Scramble by myself. If you guys don't want me, if you want me to. And I'll show you how I fix errors in real time so you get the problem solving abilities. Because again, part of your life as a programmer is debugging your code, fixing your errors, getting rid of, bugs and kind of things like that. And so having this, little scramble challenge helps to make sure that you can learn how to fix different errors. Okay. But I want to make sure that there's no more questions before I hand it over to our AI friend here and have it mess up our code. Okay. So any questions in the chat? Let me see here. Okay. I don't think I hear anything, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to our
folder view list.
GPT friend.
Start window. Search bar E. D Microsoft.
Okay. And I'm gonna.
S colon loading main landmark message A M E S T A S space C O D E space U V space O space S T U D N E space A V E space E O V E space E space C O D I N space A L C C H A L E N G E space force no indent blank.
Okay.
Out of graphic user. U message grade question blank. If grade message out of else for space print left parent no and blank grade equal clickable button Python. Create a coding challenge for students chat GPT. Python. Create certainly bang here tick as a version of the code with a few intentional errors and complexities added to. Create click up grade blank if grade greater 90 colon.
Alright, so we're going to be doing the coding challenge. And again, this is to help you learn to problem solve. If you have any contributions in the chat, let me know because any help is appreciated. Because I don't want to do this on my own. So
blank. Grade equals in left parent clickable but grade equals in grade line if grade print else if print left parent elif grade greater 60 selected. Print left parent quote grade is D if grade less 60 print left parent quote you gotta need quote right parent selected. In this modified version students will need to identify and correct syntax errors and logic in this print left parent.
Alright, I hope
copy
this is actually
grade.py dash dot
gonna be
line feed unselect.
Terrible.
Saved. Grade blank. Grade equals in left parent input left parent quote enter your grade colon quote right parent.
Alright, so again, this is called the GPT Scramble. So usually I run my code, which I'm going to do, and then you'll see the errors.
Saved.
Okay.
Chat GPT dash C colon backslash C colon back C Y. File quote C colon backslash 219 space blank. No indent syntax error colon expected tick colon tick.
Uh-oh.
Grades dot.
Okay, so our first issue, remember how I said that every if statement has to have a colon? Remember? You remember at the beginning of the stream, right? I said every statement must have a colon. Well, unfortunately, our AI friend does not think so. And so what we need to do is we need to help them by fixing our code. And in order to do so, we need to add a colon, right? Because it says we need to add a colon.
Grade equals in left
And
parent
here,
R.
once we get
Blank.
to that line.
If grade 4 space print left parent quote no indent else if grade greater 80 colon. 4 space print left parent quote your grade is A quote right parent. No indent else if grade greater 80 colon.
Oh, but there is a colon at the end of this line. That is correct. Sometimes errors can happen a line or two down or a line or two up. Okay? So sometimes when you're doing errors, they can happen a line or two up, a line or two down, or anywhere else in between. Okay?
E L S E space I F.
Uh-oh. Do you hear what this says? Else if. Do we write else if two words in Python together? Do we do that? Yes or no? No, we don't. We do elif. So we gotta fix this.
If else if selected space E L I F. Grade no indent if grade greater 80 colon.
Oops, we're don't do that either.
L I F G space 4 no indent if grade greater 80 colon.
See, you heard that little syntax sound go away, which means we fixed the problem. So that's the nice thing about Visual Studio Code now, is it has the ability to help us detect syntax errors. Remember, syntax errors are errors that are wrong with either your logic or, if you have punctuation errors, like, needing a comma somewhere. And then semantics errors are if you have, for example, you run the code and you thought it was going to be a grade thing, but maybe it was just a list of print statements or something. So that is very important to understand those two.
4 space print left parent quote your grade is B quote right parent.
Okay.
No indent if grade greater 70 colon 4 space no indent L if grade greater C colon backslash window C colon file quote C colon 200 no indent syntax error colon expected tick colon tick.
All right.
Circle grades
Is that all
dot
you're gonna give me?
Force no indent L if grade greater C E L I F space G R A D E space grade space 6 0 line space line 06 Z line feed.
Oh, there's no
colon.
code.
Force no indent L if grade greater 60 colon.
There's no colon there. So remember, we fixed 3 issues: colons and else if being spelled together and things like that. So that's kind of how that goes. Okay.
4 space print left parent quote grade is D quote right parent. No indent if grade less 60 colon.
No. Do we put an if at the end of our statement? Yes or no? No. Remember, we need to make this an else. Remember, it has to be an else. I mean, it could be an if, but it may not work correctly. You may get a semantical error. But let's see if it runs, just to be...
C colon backslash C Y. File quote C colon backslash users backslash Taylor and 200 no indent syntax error colon expected tick colon tick.
See?
Circle grade force no indent if grade less 60 colon. 4 space print left parent quote you got an E print left parent quote you no I. I F space selected. I line right parent line I E set L. Evil L of 1 of 5. Evil 5 L of 1 grade F I. Force no indent L of grade less 60 colon E L I F. I selected. F selected. F
That's not good.
Saved.
Okay.
Grade no indent L of grade less 6 4 space print left parent quote you got an E quote right parent.
Alright, so we have fixed our code. Let's see if we can rescue it. Okay. Let's see. Can we rescue our code?
C colon back C Y. Enter your grade colon.
We sure can. Let's do it. The 10%.
1 0. You got an E. C colon backslash users backslash Taylor and backslash documents grader.
Eventually, you guys are gonna have this thing play sounds. Like if it gets an E, it'll do the wah, the other sound, and if it gets an A, it'll clap. So eventually, you guys will be able to do that and play sounds, but not yet. Okay, so keep this around because we're gonna be adding to it eventually. We also may be adding to our budget tracker we made last night. Okay, so the GPT scramble is over, and I had to do it on my own. So like I said, bring your friends next time because it's a lot of fun. Right. If you guys have any other questions or thoughts, because this is pretty much our end of our stream, code will be on GitHub after the stream in the description. So please download it, please play with it, and let me know what you guys think again tomorrow. We're gonna be going live during the day sometime. I think about noon-ish, but don't hold me to that time because, as you know, things can happen around here that are unpredictable. So please, please, please let me know if you guys want me to go live, whatever time tomorrow. But anyways, with that, if I don't have any other chat messages, this will do it for today. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this little stream, and I hope you guys come back for another one.
Grades.py-chatgpt-personal-chatgpt-personal-Microsoft Edge window ChatGPT audio selected